Hello, everybody. Welcome. So I'm going to give this a little bit of time for people to get notified and join. It says there are already a few people here, so if you're here, please say hello. So as I just kind of wait for people to join, I'd like to just offer this time for you to settle in, to hopefully just maybe turn off any distractions, whether you're on like your computer or your mobile, whatever you're on. Just kind of put things aside and just give yourself some time to just be here, to be with yourself, to be with us, to be in this space together, to just be. To just be. A break from whatever you were doing before, whatever you might be doing later, giving your mind a little bit of a rest, maybe even a little bit of a respite. Thank you for being here. Hi, Jack. It's been a while. Hi, Marianne, I think is how you say it. Welcome. Happy to have you guys here. So please do say hello. It's been a little while since I've done a live like this. So I want to still give this just a little bit of time before we get started, but do you want to check in? How are you doing? How's your summer going so far, or winter, depending on where you are in the world? Time is going by so quickly. And I know part of that, I think, is just aging. They always talk about how quickly time passes as you get older. And I think there's certainly some truth to that, but it seems like just time is flying. Hi, Isabella. So this is also, I think, an opportunity to just slow down. We need those moments, even when we're having good days, even when things are feeling good, our mind and our body need an opportunity to just kind of be, so we can have complete connection and integration within our being. And our culture is not really set up for taking that time. Hi, Diane. Oh, recovering. Well, I hope it goes well. I hope you're doing okay. So I'm going to just kind of walk you through a little practice. And if it's comfortable to you when we do the practice, I would encourage you to get as comfortable a position as you can. So maybe that is sitting up, maybe it's lying down. Doesn't really matter, as long as you feel like you can kind of relax a little bit. And maybe close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. And then also having one hand over your heart space and maybe the other hand on your lower belly. If something about your lower belly doesn't feel okay, or even if your heart space doesn't feel okay, you could also set your hands on your thighs. That can help ground. Putting your hand over your heart helps you connect energetically to your heart. Putting your hand at your lower belly can help you connect to a sense of safety. So that's why I often recommend heart and belly. So if that doesn't feel comfortable to you, you can just listen. But if it does feel comfortable to you, that will help you as you shut things out, as you connect to your body, let your body relax a little bit. It will help you kind of create spaciousness within yourself to feel more energetically connected to the practice that we're going to do together. And that's true whether you're watching live or if you're watching this on replay. And if you are watching this on replay, please just share in the comments that you're watching it on replay. I'd love to hear from you. So During the time that I'm walking you through this practice, I won't be checking the comments or anything like that, because I want it to just be a really focused kind of practice. It's not going to be very long at all, but this is something that you can come back to time and time again to remind yourself. You could even, I'm imagining it's going to be maybe just a few minutes or so. So it's maybe even something that you could save and come back to and practice on a regular basis, just to guide you into connecting to that sense of deep gratitude. So, and of course, just like anything in healing, the more you practice, the more benefit it is, or there is. So again, first, if you're just jumping on, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. So again, just let yourself be comfortable. Just noticing that you are breathing. You don't have to force it, but just make sure that you're breathing. Inhaling and exhaling. Noticing the rise and fall of your breath. And if it feels comfortable, close your eyes. Or maybe you, if that's not comfortable to you, maybe you just gaze out into the distance. Not really focusing on any one thing, but just kind of letting your eyes rest out on the horizon. Even if that's something 3 feet from you. And again, just noticing your breath, the rise and fall of your chest. Putting one hand over your heart, one hand over your lower belly, and just feeling the rise and fall in your hands with the expansion and the contraction. Inhaling and exhaling. And as you exhale, feel your body relax into the surface below you, whatever that is. If you happen to be standing, maybe you feel your feet ground into the surface below, the floor, the ground. And just continuing to take a couple of breaths, inhaling and exhaling. With each exhalation, feeling your body sink in a little bit further, just as a form of releasing any tension, tightness, reminding your nervous system that you're safe. And this practice is about creating an opportunity to connect to a sense of appreciation for something good or positive in your life. Feeling it in your body, remembering what that experience felt like to you at the time. So as you think about something that you might be grateful for, something that you feel appreciative of, maybe it's something from today. It could be something from many years ago. It could be something that was a brief moment in time, or something that you experience on an almost daily basis. It could be something really adventurous and a once-in-a-lifetime thing, or the daily kinds of things. But just let your mind settle on something that you can feel in your body, in your heart, appreciation for. Maybe it makes you smile, maybe it makes you feel warm or connected, a sense of peace, belly laughter, excited, ease, free. There's so many ways, so many things that we can feel grateful for. And so often it's the small things, or seemingly small things, that really can make the most difference in our lives. The big things are nice, and they can bring a lot of fun and joy. But recognizing the daily kinds of things, like our ability to connect here together, live or on replay, the technology, the time, the connection. So just let your mind settle on something and remember what that feels like. Try to take yourself back to the moment when you felt it or when you experienced it. What did it mean to you in that moment? What did it mean to you in the moments after? Did it make your life more exciting, more connected, a little bit easier? And feel into that, the ease, the connection, the joy, the fun, or the laughter. What happens in your body when you connect to those feelings? And just let yourself be with that for a moment. Just letting that kind of move through your body. If you feel it in your heart space, see if you can send that energy down into the rest of your body. Sometimes people might feel it in their calves or their feet. Maybe see if you can send that energy up into your heart space. Maybe out to the tips of your fingers. And just let yourself really be with that feeling of appreciation. If other thoughts come to mind, that's okay. Just come back to something that you're grateful for. Having this practice helps your body, your nervous system, remember that this feeling, that these types of experiences are available to you. The more you practice reconnecting with these feelings, the ease, the freedom, the connection, the peace, the laughter, the joy, the more you practice that, the more real it becomes, the more trusting your nervous system is in accepting that this can be your reality. It doesn't have to be just a fleeting thing. So really practicing this daily, or at least a few times a week, really can make a difference. It helps you connect to the truth that even when life is difficult, even when there is so much pain that you've experienced, that there are other things in your life that are maybe a little less painful, where there are moments of something good. Not to deny the bad, but to open to accepting the good, allowing yourself to experience the good. So just another breath or two, inhaling and exhaling. And then when you're ready, come back. Just gently opening your eyes, maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes, feeling the surface below you, knowing that you are held. Taking a deep breath and maybe exhaling with a soft sigh. So, Thank you. Thank you for sharing this practice with me, live or on the replay. Thank you for being a part of this community. You are someone that I am grateful for so often. So many days in my gratitude practice, I think about the incredible community that I and that we have built together over the years on YouTube, in my Courageous Journeys community overall. Some of us have been together for quite a long time. And whether you've been here a long time or you're brand new, you've just discovered this channel even exists, I am grateful for your presence here. So, if you have any questions, feel free to share in the comments. And I pinned this at the top of the chat, and it's also in the description. But I am going to be leading a 7-day gratitude challenge beginning June 20th, next Monday. And I've led it a couple times before. And it's always so amazing to me how powerful it is for everybody, and the depth of what can happen in that space. I know some of you are not on Facebook, and I am working towards finding a different place to hold community. It will be on Facebook though. So you don't have to join the Facebook group. You can join and get the gratitude journal. It's a downloadable PDF, and work through it on your own. But let's face it, the community is where the depth happens. And so we'll be there for a week. June 20th is when it starts. So you can check out the link. The details are there. And I would love to be able to connect with you there. So I'm going to just say hello and check to see if there are any messages. Hi, Tim. Hi, Amanda. Oh, you're welcome, Jack. Amanda, you can watch on replay. You're welcome, Diane. Oh, good. Diane and her spouse are watching. Hi, Mary. Hi, Via. Hi, Jody. Got here late. That's okay. You can watch on replay. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you hopped in. So, if you've got any questions about the challenge, if you've got any other questions, it's been a while since I've done a Q&A, because I tend to do a lot of Q&As when I lead a group. And so I'm pretty busy when I'm doing group or trying to prepare for a group. So, and this will be, I know I hear from people a lot that would like to be able to join a group with me. And I know that the investment in doing individual work and doing group work with me is out of reach for some people. And one of the reasons that I wanted to do this in this way, this gratitude challenge, is to create an opportunity to come together in a group healing experience. But because it's only a week, it is at a rate that hopefully most people can afford. And if it's $11 US to join, if that feels like that is not available to you, it just isn't available to you at all, send me an email, healing@courageousjourneys.com. Because if you want to join, I want you to be able to join. And this really is, well, it's only a week, so obviously nothing miraculous is going to happen in a week. But based on previous experiences, there's a lot that can really help either build or solidify that foundation, and oftentimes even help really push you up that mountain quite a bit. So it's not going to get you to the top, but it can play a really significant role in getting you, or experiencing, I guess I should say, something that can be incredibly powerfully healing. What is the best thing to do if I find gratitude work hard, as I often felt like I haven't earned or don't deserve the things that I'm grateful for? Jack, this is a great question. And it's something that actually a lot of people struggle with. And I did too in the early part of my gratitude practice. It was incredibly challenging. And so many people do find it difficult. And one of the interesting things about it, challenging things about it too, and this happens a lot with affirmations, when you connect to something that doesn't feel quite true for you, or you feel like you're not deserving of, it can actually create this kind of counter feeling that is not at all what we're going for. But that is pretty normal, and there's nothing really wrong with that. It's just part of the process. Doesn't mean you shouldn't practice gratitude. It means that that's part of the healing that you need to be able to experience. So I think that in part, it may depend on whether it's a particular thing that you might feel kind of undeserving of, like something pretty significant that you feel undeserving of, or just kind of in general feeling undeserving of. But I'm just trying to think of like a specific type of an example. So one of the things that comes up, and this was one of my experiences as well, is feeling undeserving of somebody that I enjoyed having in my life, wanted in my life, feeling undeserving of that. And so to feel grateful for that, it was scary, because if I allowed myself to feel into that sense of gratitude, and this wasn't all happening consciously, but if I felt into that sense of gratitude, the loss would be even more significant, because I'd be acknowledging how important that is to me, that relationship is, that person is. And so kind of I would shut it down then, like, well, I'm not really deserving of it, because that kind of helps prepare you for when it ends. Well, if you don't believe you're deserving of it, then it's not that big of a loss when it ends. So that's one of the pieces that can happen. But let's say it's for having access to the things that we need in life that we can easily take for granted, like shelter and food and water and electricity and transportation or whatever. One of the questions that I think can be helpful is it possible that I could be deserving of it? And one thing that you can do when you ask yourself that question is think about people that you know, people that you don't know, a stranger that you meet on the street, or potentially even like a homeless person who doesn't have some of that stuff. Are they deserving of it? Why are they deserving of it? And you don't know them, generally speaking. A lot of those people you're not going to know, but yet you believe that they're deserving of it, because even if they've made a mistake, even if they've hurt somebody, even if bad things have happened to them. When I say hurt somebody, I'm not talking about abuse necessarily. That's kind of a little bit of a different topic, but let's just say somebody who hasn't deliberately hurt somebody else in a significant way. You believe that they're deserving of that, of those things, because people are deserving of those things. That just, as human beings, as relatively decent people, that people are deserving of that. So if that is true for complete strangers, is it possible it could be true for you? And the answer, when you ask it in that way, the answer is always going to be yes. Now, you can come up with all kinds of reasons right after that, right? Why you think it's not possible for you or it can't be true for you, even if it can be true for other people. But right now, you're starting, so this is the process and the practice. You're starting with, is it possible it could be true for me? And if it's things related to responsibility that you feel for bad things that have happened to you, if you feel shame around things that have happened to you, shame around your coping, shame around the ways that you've been impacted, then think about somebody that you know who has experienced something relatively similar. And even if there's nobody in your personal life, there are lots of people, right, in public life, here in this space, certainly all kinds of other places. There are people that have experienced similar types of things that you would probably not believe that they're not deserving. But yet when you look at you or yourself in kind of those similarities, you believe that they're deserving, but you're not. So again, is it possible that if I believe that I'm not deserving because it's my fault that this stuff happened, or it's my fault that I didn't learn better ways of coping, but this other person copes in maybe some similar ways or equally unhealthy ways, also had bad things happen to them. If that person can still be deserving, if you can believe that about that person, then again, the question is it possible that that could be true for me too? And the answer is going to be yes. Again, you're going to come up with all the reasons it's not true for you, but you're just opening to the possibility that it can be true. And another way to look at that is that that other person that you think is deserving, they don't think that they're deserving. They'll look at you and say, well, yes, Jack is deserving, but I'm not. Jack is deserving for this reason and this reason and this reason, but I'm not because of this reason, this reason, and this reason. And really recognizing that as the absolute reality can be helpful, because if this person can come up with all the same arguments that you can come up with as to why you're not deserving, but yet you believe that they are, that question, okay, so is it possible it could be true for me too? Absolutely. And that is just letting yourself open the door to begin believing that it can be true. But it's a practice. It really is a practice. And the other thing, just because, and this is important too, just because you have believed that you're not deserving of something, it does not make it true. Because the reasons that you believe that you're not deserving are based on a lie. The reason that you believe that you're undeserving is because of the meaning that you have attached to different experiences in your life. Any number of experiences, various types of experiences, some from long ago, some from maybe this morning. But it's all because of what you believe about who you are, not because it's truth. I feel grateful for some of the bad things that happened to me, but I feel ashamed of that. I feel grateful for the journey they set me on to discover myself, the understanding I got of it. There's nothing to be ashamed of in that. I think for a lot of people, finding gratitude at something bad that happens I think that there's a lot that can be somewhat cultural. It can certainly be like a faith-based idea. There's nothing to be ashamed of there, and there's nothing wrong with it. What can be somewhat challenging around that is that the way that we talk about gratitude, it's kind of an either or. Either you're grateful for it and you just feel good about it, not good, but you feel grateful for it and therefore you move on because it's ultimately not a bad thing, something good came out of it, or you wallow or dwell in the pain that it caused. And that's where it can be difficult when that happens. That's where it can actually be damaging when that happens. But if you feel some sense of gratitude for that on your own, as long as that feels genuine for you and you're not denying anything about it, then there's nothing at all wrong with that. Enjoy your workday, Tim. Thanks for being here. Oh, good job. I'm glad. Good. I'm happy for that. I'm glad you'll be trying that. Yeah, gratitude is not really an easy practice, and because it's something that's so often talked about in terms of like positive psychology and stuff like that, I think there can be a lot lost in kind of like with affirmations, really. How do you practice in a way that is healing and not creating more difficulty? Because just like with affirmations, when you're saying, I am worthy and I am whatever, when you don't actually believe that and you aren't taking it deeper than that, the immediate response is, no, you're not. Who are you kidding? Look at all these reasons that you're not worthy. That's what carries the most energy. And then you're left with all of that energy and all of that, that core belief of being unworthy being like triggered in a sense around that. And often shame can come up. And gratitude can be the same, because if you feel that you're not deserving of that, then it can bring up all the reasons why you believe that you're not. And so doing it in a very intentional way, in a way that helps you see beyond the either or, that's where the healing is experienced. So, does anybody else have any questions? I miss doing these lives and being able to connect with people who are not on Facebook. But honestly, I have not been on Facebook very much. Hardly anybody is seeing my posts, so I haven't been sharing there very often. When I'm doing a group, I'm very, very involved in the group, and so that tends to take up a lot of my energy. But other than, was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, other than 1 week, I have been posting here, sharing videos with you regularly for, I don't know, at least I think like 4 months or something. So, and I missed a few weeks ago because I was sick. But back to posting weekly, hopefully. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I will go ahead and end. But if you do have a question, feel free to jump in. So I'd also love to hear, how did you find this practice, this guided practice? Was it helpful? Was it difficult for you to feel kind of, were you able to focus on it? Were you able to be in the moment, or did you find your mind going everywhere else? That's pretty normal. And I know that here it's the middle of the day, and for a lot of you, it's still kind of the middle of the day or the beginning of the day. And so it might be kind of hard to shut your brain off a little bit in the sense of trying to be really present. And that's one of the reasons why I think taking this practice beyond just this live experience might be really helpful for you. Jack, thank you. I'm actually feeling great. So Jack said, how are you feeling since posting your personal videos recently? Hope you're doing okay. I am. So as I said, like I've shared a lot of personal things, and for the most part, I don't feel vulnerable at all, because it's not something that I still continue to hold on to or feel shame around or have triggers around or anything like that, because of the healing that I've been able to do. But a few weeks ago, I shared a video where I shared a journal entry that's about present stuff that's going on or can go on with me. And that felt quite vulnerable because I don't usually share the thoughts that are constantly going, not constantly, but there are times that it's constantly going through my mind, the fears, the doubts, and all of that. And so that felt vulnerable because it's now. It's happening in my life. Well, it has been. And in fact, I might even do another video about one piece of that. But it has been going on, and it is going on. And in all reality, likely will continue to go on. But I am using my journal and working on releasing that. And the journal that I shared from, if you haven't seen it, is this. It's a new journal that I created, releasing the day for a peaceful night. It's just like a 90-day journal to help you release your thoughts at the end of the day, fears, doubts. So I'm feeling good about it, and I've received some really beautiful messages from people, and that is always nice, because I know that I can get caught up sometimes in feeling like my role here on YouTube, actually in pretty much any of the ways that I show up publicly, is about sharing information to help you heal, to help you recognize that you can heal. And so sharing things that are, for me, personal, that are now, like doubts and stuff like that, it's knowing that people find benefit in that is helpful. Because I do feel sometimes like there is that's not really, I don't know exactly what the idea is. It's kind of under the surface a little bit there, but almost like it's not the right thing. And part of that might be my therapy training, my clinical experience, but I know that sometimes sharing some of that personal stuff can be really helpful to people. Marian says, I am very, very grateful for being with you here. I also had little bits of panic in between when I was connecting with so much presence and goodness, but it was okay. Good. I'm so glad that this field has felt like a positive experience for you. And when I talk about like feeling gratitude for like a moment of connection, a moment of ease, this is, in a sense, kind of what I'm referring to. Being able to really recognize literally just a moment in time or a singular experience that just helps you feel something that feels good in some way. Even if it might feel a little scary, because most of the things that I talk about with people can feel scary, but there can also be something that feels really good about that. And creating the space to take that in, to connect with that, is a powerful healing experience. So thank you all again for being here, and I will look forward to seeing you hopefully again very soon. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Bye-bye.